Welcome, YouTube. This is The Answer. This is a real important topic. Slavery in America. Slavery in America still exists, believe it or not. It's something that's impacting a lot of lives. I think just about almost anyone that you could think of, the person nearest to you, family members, friends, your boss, the everyday hard worker, including yourself. What do I mean by this? There's a whole new, people are thinking it's a fad. People are also believing that maybe it just isn't cool. But let's talk about minimalism. It's actually something that makes a lot more sense if you really think about it. Slavery, though, I want to say you're a slave to the system. You're a slave to your job. You're a slave to your bills. You're a slave to your technology. You're a slave to anything that consumes you and that consumes your time. And so what's happening is it's okay to want nice things. It's okay to want a nice car, a nice home, but at what cost? There's people that actually work a 9 to 5 and still end up working a second job on top of that part-time somewhere. Why? Because of their overhead. Now, minimalism, if you can look into that, has to do with having the necessities and living happy. Your necessities are very important. Let's talk about some necessities then. Hygiene, you definitely need to focus on that. Always take care of yourself. Toothbrush, the essentials, the brush, the shampoos and soaps. Those would fall in the category of necessities. Food, you have to eat as well. But how much food are you consuming and where you're consuming is actually a big problem. If you're consuming fast food, it's kind of expensive. And secondly, it's bad for your health. So now you're a slave to the system in the sense of spending so much money. Necessities in eating is your essentials. How many times a day do you have to eat? And how much of it do you have to eat? Keep a well-balanced diet is very simple. I personally eat the same stuff every day. I have a certain set schedule. That's not being a slave, that's being smart. My body works as a timer. It knows exactly how I've trained it. Therefore, if all week I'm gonna eat maybe some fish, I'll have that for lunch. A salad every day at lunch at 12, I'll have that. Breakfast, maybe a shake or some eggs, but simple. Why? Because my focus ain't so much on the eating part anymore. I wanna have time to do more. Therefore, I need to have more money to do more. But let's get back to the point. Are you a slave to your job? Are you working your 9 to 5? If you actually own your own business, you're still a slave because you got to put in all those hours. So what happens is if you're not prioritizing on your essentials, your necessities, and you really step out of the box that you've been in conditioned your whole life, do you really need all those expenses? Do you really need all that overhead? Not really. Not when you sit and think about it. You're spending so much money on that car bill, on that mortgage or rent, and you're spending so much money on your food and your playtime. Look, we understand you need all those things, but again, at what cost? So the more money you have going out, the more time you got to put into it. Sit down, put a list together, and really think about your life. What are the necessities and the essentials that you need? You'll come to find out that you really don't need much. You might just need a few pairs of underwear. Pack light. You might need a few pairs of socks. You might need a few shirts. I mean, where are you seriously going every single day that you gotta have a wardrobe full in your closet? God forbid something crazy happens, you can't pack up and leave. Keep it short, keep it simple, pack light. It's a very simple concept. If you gotta get up and leave, can you just leave on a fly? No, because you got all this baggage, you got all these things. Minimalism, if you look into it again, it seems to actually work, especially in this day and age. You don't need much. Same thing for business. You just need your essentials, your phone, laptop, or camera, and you can do so much with it and start a business. Same thing with your household essentials. Keep it minimal. You don't need all the bells and whistles. It's not that era anymore. So hopefully this helped you. Hopefully this may, again, enlighten you just a little bit. Maybe you got an answer out of this. If you like what you've heard, subscribe. Please leave us a comment. Don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to follow us on more content platforms, you definitely want to go on Instagram, The Answer Talks, Snapchat, The Answer Talks, Facebook, The Answer Talks. It's that simple. Once again, thank you. This is The Answer.